Cowboy Jim, thank you for taking a look at this anyways. I appreciate it. Subject, fear, and its influence on your life. Many people say, well, I'm really not afraid. But the number of times in our lives that I have personally occasioned to say, I was afraid that was going to happen. Didn't you just know that was going to happen? And here's the deal that's very critical. To me, it's all fear. In Canada, in North America, we have an onslaught of fear that has been perpetrated against the people who have gotten so used to living in a free environment, society, that allows us to be comfortable. We have to work for it, absolutely, without question. But that's our purpose. That's the fulfillment of what we were raised to do. Not live to work, but work to live. We do that work. Nowadays, an insidious thing has come in, and it is called fear. We go to a restaurant, and unless we have X number of vaccinations, and quite possibly 2 aren't enough, and you might have to get 3, and yet the truth of the matter is this. No one really knows if the vaccinations work. No one really knows very much about COVID, this funny thing that's coming now. I am convinced that what a very, very wise lady said was that fear is the root of all evil. I go a little different. I say Satan is the root of all evil and that he is evil. But he uses fear to rob the joy, the strength, the optimism from the people. And I don't know, I'm not a theologian, I guarantee you that, but I'm not one who is conversant enough to understand herd mentality and what is the overriding reason that fear, we are being taught now to fear everything. Fear talking to someone, fear going into a store, fear. And the one thing that I know about fear is this. Job in Old Testament, he said, the thing I feared has come upon me. And if you put fear at the forefront of your heart and you are debilitated by that, you will walk in your fear. If you are at all optimistic, if you have some degree of hope, you will find that things are fulfilling that hope. A child will only live up to the parents' expectations. There is a reason for that. If you as a parent are telling your child, you will never learn. I knew you would do that again. What was it, just yesterday? Hey, be a nice for crying out loud. Be nice. Give your children a little hope, a little optimism. that they may have screwed up today, but there's a very good chance that perhaps they have learned something from the experience today, and tomorrow will be a better day. A better day. Now, take this further. Ask yourself, what role does fear play in your life? Does it keep you at home? Are you afraid to go out and interact with people? Does it affect your work relationships? Does it affect your work period? Are you a fearful person, anticipating that the sky is going to fall and all hell is going to break loose? Or are you, by choice, an optimist? It's very hard to be optimistic in Canada right now, in the US, in that we are assaulted, inundated with a government that says, depend on us, because we are your only hope. If we say, don't go outside, don't go outside. If we say it is all right to go outside, well, then believe us. Because we are in authority over you. Hey, my ancestors all fought in the First, Second World Wars. Well, we're Irish. I mean, if there's a war, well, my ancestors kind of gravitated towards it because they had a fight against slavery. People don't understand that. The Irish were sold, due to debt, into a form of slavery. In the southern states, the Irish ladies were bred to the slaves back in the 1800s, to the black slaves. And the slave plantation type people who wanted to have a strong person, you can't get much stronger than the slaves of that era, whose skin was not white. But they bred the black people with the Irish ladies in the hope that they would get an enhanced slave. The Irish fought for freedom because they were starved. And yet the only crop in Ireland that failed in the 1850s, 1870s, 80s, my ancestors came over here in 1857. The only crop that failed was the potato crop. All the grains, everything else, they were good crops, and they went straight to England. And the Irish were dispensable. Not only were their record keeping terrible over there, at least you and I have a number, social insurance number. Does it matter? Possibly. I hope it does. I question that it does. You have this glorious opportunity of living, of going to work, making enough money to provide for your family. Well, until some idiot says, we're running out of toilet paper. And sure, the next week, there won't be any toilet paper, because everybody is just going to flood the stores. I am really kind of choked. My ragu spaghetti sauce that I use as a foundation for most of my pastas is no longer available. And there's a reason for that. Well, we have trucking. We have trucking that's affected by COVID. We have handling that is affected by COVID. we have grocery stores with shelves that are pretty good shape. Oh, don't let anyone tell you there's going to be a run on Hamburg next week and Kleenex. Because just the fear of it will probably do it. I'm looking, 10:26. We're going to cut this short. Not too short, but short. So, what role does fear play in your life? Well, for me, I would never climb a cliff. I would never descend a cliff. I would never jump off a cliff. I would not use a parachute because I would not want to get out of the plane. But let's bring it down to some regular stuff. Will you talk to a person whose color of skin is markedly different than yours? I would. I could care less. A group of motorcycle guys pull up. They used to come into our campground called Hell's Angels or Satan's Choice. 150 to 300 of the toughest looking children in North America. And were we afraid? Well, my old aunt said, Jim, I was 14. She said, Jim, you're going to die. And I said, Aunt Sadie, we're all going to die. She said, no, you don't understand. You are going to die real soon. And I said, why would you say that? She said, can you tell me what you're afraid of? I thought, well, I'm not telling her about stepladders. That sounds kind of like a pussy. But that was the only thing I was afraid of. Oh, later in life, I found the joy of having a needle that was not in my bum, where you could actually see the stupid thing going into your body or getting intravenous. But other than that, I said, no. I said, I don't have any need to be afraid. And my aunt said, yes, you do. Because if you're not, you won't be careful. How careful are you being? How careful are you being in your life? So, possibly you won't talk to someone whose complexion is different, darker, different. Street people? Well, there are some I won't talk to. But I look real close into their eyes. I study them, and I'll help anyone until they prove to me they're not worthy. What role does fear then play? Does it stop you from allowing yourself to be loved? Does it stop you from allowing yourself to care? Does it stop you from helping someone who is on the street and they are cold? Does it stop you from knocking on your neighbor's door? Fear stop you from knocking on your neighbor's door when they just moved in and say, boy, it is good to have someone in this house. It's been empty for a long time. What is it that stops you from being the person that you really would like to be? If it's fear, I think you better reconsider. Okay? Reconsider. But you say, I have been hurt before. Of course you have. Does that mean you're going to be hurt again? Perhaps. Perhaps not. Doesn't mean that you will be. Does mean there is precedent. It could happen. But did I learn anything the last time I was hurt? Did I learn to watch for the signs, the tells, if you play poker? Perhaps you as a single mother, you want, or in some ways, need a physical relationship, a heart relationship. I'm telling you, you have a heart relationship, and that person is the only person in the world that you want to be with because you love her and or him, whatever. But if you're afraid, you're never going to find out if perhaps you just walked by the best thing that could have happened to you. The best thing. So, Christmas 2021. Boy, am I excited. I mean, I am not buying a single gift because I'm staying by myself, children. And I will have to help my grandchildren out a little tiny bit. All that stuff. Listen, God bless. You have a good day. Whatever you do. I just want to say, a single mom, plural moms, the toughest thing that you're going to do in the balance of your life until your children are 18, 20 years old, and that is this: ascertain if anyone that you meet is worth the risk of taking home and introducing them to your children. Your children need to be protected, moms. It's your job. I know. I understand. We need that heart-related touch. I understand. God bless you, don't mean to screw up your Christmas. God bless you. Take care of the little ones who can't take care of themselves, Don't let fear rule your life, your lives. God bless.